Welcome to Bits and Pieces. Today I am using a 1928 cookbook called Anyone Can Bake. It has a lot of photos in this one, but it was by the Royal Baking Powder Company that produced this, and you can see the copyright on that. It had a lot of pictures. I saw some photographs earlier and to show some basic cooking techniques or baking techniques. But here's the recipe if you want to pause it here and copy it. I'm going to say I would change that temperature. I end up doing it at the 400, and well, you'll see the results at the end. So this said to sift together all the dry ingredients. I think I have a sifter, but I don't really like using it. This is actually using my little mesh colander works better. So it's like 2 cups of flour, the baking powder, the salt and sugar, and sift. That's it. So this does call for eggs and milk, and it says to blend the eggs. These are eggs from a friend's backyard chicken. Sometimes the egg shells can be a little fragile, as you can see here. I see now why a lot of the older cookbooks do specify cracking the eggs into a separate container before adding them to the one you will be mixing. Oops, I won't do that again. And so I just kind of mixed it up and then added the milk. And I used oat milk in this case because that's what I had on hand. Then going back to the sifted dry ingredients, I put the shortening in that it called for. I think if I do this again in the future, I might want to replace half of that with butter. The flavor was still good, but things baked with butter are awesome. And just as I do with my biscuits, I just use the pastry knife from my mixer to mix this up to get it to look more like crumbs. And then I added the milk and egg mixture kind of all at once and blended it until it was incorporated. So I just dumped the whole container on top of a floured surface. Probably a little bit too much flour on this surface, to be honest. And then divided that roughly into 3 parts and made little rounds out of them. And then I rolled these out to about a 1/2 inch thickness, I think. I'm going to say by the last one I'd figured this out. I would recommend sprinkling the sugar on top, then slicing them into quarters, just for more efficiency instead of, well, you see what I'm doing here. But yeah, that was not super efficient. But so by the 3rd one, I'd figured out, sprinkle the sugar, then divide it. This one I divided it, sprinkled the sugar, and then separated them, but yeah. Here's what they look like. I only did these for 22 minutes, despite the recipe saying 25, and they're still a little bit too brown. I think going forward, I would do it at 375, and then see what the temperature, the length of time it needs to be. But I had some clotted cream and some of the last of last year's marmalade that I had with it. This was so good, despite being a little crispier than I would expect my scones to be. But if you're enjoying these videos, please like and subscribe. I'm still trying to decide what I want to make out of that 1908 cookbook. Would y'all like to see a bread, a cake, a dessert, preserves, vegetable out of it? Let me know. Thank you.